Now then, and welcome back to Rare Eddie One Talks podcast. I'm your host, Rare Eddie One, and welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic time of day. Whatever time of day you're listening to this, morning, evening, noon, night time, I hope you're having a great and wonderful time of day. I'm having an awesome time. I'm hanging out with you guys. I've healed. I normally do these on a Saturday, and I normally get them out on a Sunday, but I'm a couple of days late. I did have eye surgery, not vision related, diabetes related. So I may do an episode on that if you're interested. Let me know if you're interested, getting them comments, getting them emails, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Get in and let me know your thoughts. If you want me to go do a deep dive in diabetes and all that good stuff, let me know. I have been a type 1 diabetic for over 20 years and still going strong. But on tonight's episode, before I get on that, if you could do me a favor, please go to, because I do put these up on YouTube and Rumble, not straight away, but if you could do me a favor, go over to YouTube and Rumble and hit that subscribe button. And you don't have to watch anything, but if you could hit that subscribe button, that would be absolute fucking awesome. You guys are legends. You can watch some if you want. You know, I'm not going to force you, but, you know, if you don't, you don't. But if you could do me a favor, go to YouTube, Rare Eddie One, on Rumble and YouTube, and it is like it is on the podcast. And also on the podcast, whatever podcast provider you're listening, smash that follow button, and please leave me a review. That would be absolute awesome. That really would help the show. Tonight's episode 16, out of that, let's get that out of the way, sorry. Episode 16 on Rare Eddie One Talks. We are going over the best UFO picture ever. That is a interesting sentence right there. Really, could this be the best ever UK? I say UK. It is a UK photo, but could this be the best ever picture proof of a UFO? So this happened in Calvine. Sorry, I probably butchered that, in Scotland, in Perthshire. Found after, so this photo went missing, and it was found after 30 years. I think the MOD, the military, had it down under lock and key, because the story goes that there was two hikers who were hiking around Calvine in Perthshire. Beautiful, absolute gorgeous looking place, if I do say so myself. And there was two hikers, and they took a series of 6 photos, not just 1, 6 photos. And the other 5 are being held. They've been held for another 50 years. So if you wanted to put a request in, you have to wait for another 50 years, which I think it's 2070 something, before you can actually get your hands on them photos. So are these photos even clearer, even better than what this photo is? Because, so this photo, there's been a lot of people trying to debunk this photo, saying it's a log in water. If that was the case, why haven't the MOD released the other 5 photos? It's a genuine question. If this is a log in a water, and it's, you know, you get the log sticking out, and then you get the reflection of the log. I think I've got a couple of pictures that indicates that. If that was the case, why haven't the other 5 pictures been released? Now, I watched a couple of YouTube and podcasts on this very event, and there's people trying to debunk it, and it ranges from it was, you know, maybe a log in the water, like I just said, or a balloon. I've never seen, well, maybe not a balloon, maybe a kite, maybe, because I've never seen a diamond-shaped looking balloon. I could be wrong. There's probably loads out there, in all honesty. But let's have a quick look at the picture. So the picture So the picture. So people are saying this is in a lake. So in the region of Calvine, there isn't a lake nearby where there's a river, but not a lake. Now, depending how big that river is, it doesn't look like a massive river. Can I put myself down there? Can I go? Let's go satellite. Let's go satellite. And the river, so it's close to the A9. Where is the river? I can't see the river. There it is. It doesn't look wide. The river does not look wide. Doesn't look like it's a fat river. Comparing it to the road, it looks sort of road size, but again, this satellite image could, on the not the satellite picture, but on the normal map picture, it does look as wide as the road. So I don't think it is, because I was watching a few things last night, and someone was saying it's the angle of the picture looks like it's angling down because of the posts. So there's a couple of posts in the 3 posts altogether, and they're trying to say the photo was taken looking down. So we've got a little bit of log, and then the reflection of the log, a piece of wood, or it could be tinfoil, it could be something, making it look like a diamond shape. Yes, the bottom half does look more darker than the top half, but if you're taking a picture, I think this is, I don't think this is a reflect image. I think this is an image of something, because there is a plane. The story is that is a jet behind it, following it, touring it, and it does look like a diamond shaped, your typical sort of UFO, so saucery looking, saucy now. It does look like your typical saucer shaped UFO, but there is a jet following it now, because there's a couple of tree branches, and I will put these pictures up in the show notes, so if you want to go see, please do. Now, this fence, people saying this is just normal fence. This fence looks like, to me, if you ever seen fences, and especially fences what are trying to keep you out, so you got your straight, but then you got your vertical, what's coming outwards. So if you're trying to climb up the fence, you've got to go a little bit backwards to get over it, and that's normally bad wide, and that's what that looks like to me. I can't think what that fence is. It's a security fence. Obviously, they don't do that now, but when I was little, I saw them fences all over the place. Your typical, wired fence going up, and then you got your little pointy outy bit to stop thieves or people getting in, which is normally barbed wired. Now, picture doesn't look like that's barbed wired, but the way that's all looking to me, that's what it looks like. I could be wrong. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like that sort of security fence with the top outy bit, which is normally barbed wired. Now, would we be able to see the barbed wire? No. And people are saying that there's a couple. It looks like this is maybe land. I don't think it is. I think that's sort of hill or sort of mountain range. But again, this could be. It doesn't look like it's in a lake, because there isn't a lake near Calvine. Could this be in a different part, and they're just the whole lie and saying it is in Calvine, but it's not? It's near Loch Ness. That could be right. But anyway, let's have a look at the story. Oh, bugger, I've gone all the way back. All the way back. So on August 4th, 1990, two hikers near Calvine in Scotland took a photograph of a mysterious diamond-shaped flying object hovering in the middle of the sky. For 32 years, the image, dubbed the Calvine Photo, disappeared from the public eye, becoming the object of speculation, theories, and myths. But now the groundbreaking image has finally resurfaced thanks to the efforts of British journalist David Clarke. Thank you. After 13 years, sorry, a bit of an itch. After 13 years, after the 13 years of research, Clarke, who has worked for a curator for Britain's National Archives and is currently an associate professor at Sheffield Hallam University, found that former Royal Air Force press officer Craig Lindsay had held onto a copy of the last remaining original print, waiting for someone to inquire about the mysterious image. In the photo, one of a series of 6 the hikers reportedly took. Interestingly, if you want to debunk this, why not release? If this is just a picture in a lake, why not release the other 5? And if it is, we could tell it is. And if it is, we could tell. Sorry, I've got the McDonald's sign on fire on the right hand side. Sorry. And if it is a piece of wood in a lake, obviously the other 5 pictures may show that, but I don't think it is. I think this is something, maybe not alien, but maybe something we've been working on, and that's why this image doesn't look like anything you could maybe get any reference or ideas, engineering aspects of this picture, but maybe the other 5 were. So that's what my thoughts are on it. But anyway, let's continue. A diamond-shaped object that can be seen flying in the sky, while a fighter jet can be spotted in the background, not too far from it. It's the first time the public has had access to the elusive image, which has been described as the best UFO photo ever taken. Back in 1990, the 2 hikers brought the photo to Scotland's Daily Record newspaper for publication, but instead the newspaper handed the image over to the British Ministry of Defence, which kept it secret until now. The Daily Record's picture editor at the time sent them to Craig Lindsay, who was the RAF press officer in Scotland. He passed the print to the Ministry of Defence in London. The Ministry of Defence in London then asked him to obtain the negatives. So he went back to the Daily Record, asked for the Daily Record to send the negatives to London, which they duly did, quite amazingly, and that when they disappeared, Clarke writes that the information linked to the photo, together with the image, should have normally been released by now, as 30 years have passed. But the
identities
of the 2 hikers who took the photo are still unknown and are not expected to be revealed before 2072. as the Ministry of Defense has cited privacy concerns. Okay. I think this is our technology, and the other 5 photos are more detailed than this photo. I think this has maybe been back-engineered alien tech, or maybe our own I was going to say alien. This is either back-engineered alien tech or our own tech, our own advanced tech. Because I've said this many times on the podcast and on some of my YouTube videos. The militaries of the world, especially in the Western world, are generally 30 years ahead of us. So, for an example, in the US, they had nuclear-powered drones in the 70s. That sounds absolute fucking nuts. Nuclear-powered drone in the 70s, but they had drones in the 70s. Now, when were we seeing drones? When were drones being reported to, be a normality in the 2000s, late 90s? So this wouldn't surprise me. After 30 years, could this be one of the advanced bombers we have in deployment? Sorry, I couldn't think that. I had a brain fart. So privacy concerns, I don't think that's a too much to. I think that's just a nothing burger, in all honesty. So I'll continue. Oddly, despite all the publicity, the 2 chaps who took the photos have never come forward, Clark told Newsweek. The negatives have never been seen since they reached the Ministry of Defense. Now, the Ministry of Defense say they returned them to the Daily Record, but the Daily Record says they never received them and they have no idea what happened to them. So there's a lot of questions to be answered. Yes, there is. While we don't know what happened to the men who took the photo, we do know what they described happened 32 years ago. According to what Lindsay told Clark, the 2 men were working as chefs in a hotel in Pitlock. Sorry, I'm going to have to read this out because I will butcher that fucking name.
Pitlochry.
In the Scottish Highlands, when one summer evening they decided to go for a walk in the hills near Calvine. While out walking, the 2 spotted a huge diamond-shaped flying object moving silently in the sky. They saw this thing in the sky and it scared them, Clark told Newsweek. They ran into some woodland to sort of keep their heads down, and they heard this jet come down the valley, and then 2 minutes later it returned and started circling around the object, and that's when they took the photos. Wherever what the 2 men saw on that summer evening in 1990 was actually a UFO, as the 2 men thought then, is still unclear. Clark had the photo analysed by one of his colleagues, senior lecturer in photograph at Sheffield Hallam University, Andrew Robinson, who said the image shows no sign of manipulation, which is very interesting coming from a professor of photography, that there's no sign of manipulation. It follows that this is either a genuine unidentified flying object in the sky, the reports by Robertson reads, or that any construction or manipulation used to create this effect occur in front of the camera and not in the capture. Sorry, let me read this again. It follows that this is either a genuine unidentified flying object in the sky, the report by Robinson reads, or that any construction or manipulation used to create this effect occurred in front of the camera and not in the capturing of the scene on film, nor in the I can't bloody say that word, so we'll read it out.
Subsequent
Processing and printing of the image, which is quite interesting coming from a professor of photo. Lindsay is also convinced that the image is not a hoax, but while Clark admits the photo is by far the best UFO photo he has ever seen, the journalist says he doesn't believe the object in the image is actually an alien flying saucer. Sadly, I don't think it's Sorry, let me read this again. Bloody me and my reading. Sadly, I do not think that mysterious aircraft arrived from another galaxy, Clark wrote in a piece he published in the Daily Mail. I believe it was man-made somewhere in secret hangar, and whatever it was remains on the secret list and high sensitivity. He thinks a mystery flying object could have been the Aurora or a top secret reconnaissance aircraft, which the US was rumored to be building in the 80s. This is where I was saying this is probably something they've been working on for a long time. And this photo was the least defined of them all, of the other five, and that's why they've kept the other five. Although there was never any evidence of such a project, and the US government has consistently denied its existence. Of course they are. Although there has never been any substantial evidence that it was ever built or flown, there have been numerous unexplained sightings and incidents in both US and the UK over the years that have fueled the aura myth, Calvin included, wrote Clark. Not too long, and then I'll get to some of my thoughts. So Clark is 100% sure that someone somewhere in the military establishment in Britain or in the US knows exactly what the photo shows. The journalist also admits that it's possible the image could be anything, including a prank. The other option is the whole thing is a joke, a prank that got out of hand, Clark told Newsweek. The whole purpose of publishing the story is hopefully to get either photographers themselves or someone who knows the photographers or known something about the circumstances to come forward and solve this mystery, which to this day no one has. So I think Clark wrote this in 2021, and still no new news of this. 30 years still. So Calvin is a hamlet in Perth and Kinross, Scotland. It is sandwiched between the A9 and the Highland Mainland Railway and River Garry, both to its south. It's sandwiched between the A9 and a Highland Mainline Rail and River Garry. So I don't think that picture is of the river. If it was, it looks calm. That picture, it did look calm. If that is indeed a body of water, that looks calm. It looks steady. Rivers generally are not calm. Rivers are rivers at the end of the day. Lakes, on the other hand, could be calm. So I don't think it is, unless it was a body of water taken somewhere else that wasn't in Calvin. The river looks like it's quite rocky, so you would generally get your river looking sort of what rivers do, basically. So I think if it is a prank or an optical illusion, I don't think it's a river at the end of the day. And so the closest RAF base is, I'm going to butcher this name, so we're going to read it out.
Lossiemouth.
North of Calvin. Let's go back to the map. So it's sort of north. Yeah, it's north of Calvin, north to the east. About a 2-hour drive, but from the crow flies. But this is a RAF base, and could they potentially be testing alien back engineered alien craft, or brand new technologies? So it's home to the Eurofighter Typhoon, Squadron number 6, Squadron number 9. All squadrons contribute to the Quick Reaction Alert Interceptor North capability, which provides continuous protection of the UK airspace. And where its base is actually comes quite close to that actually comes quite close to where it would be. Can I get that any bigger? Yes, I can. It actually comes quite close. So could this be a rogue test, and they've just gone a little bit further? Because Calvin, could it have just gone a little bit further to where it was? I think so. I think this could have been a rogue aircraft, one of our own, maybe back engineered alien tech. But another interesting thing, so this could be our own aircraft or reversed engineered alien craft developed by maybe us or the US, or both us and the US. But let's put that to a side and let's go something a little bit different. So where Calvin is, it's close to a couple of major ley lines. So the British latitudinal ley line and the Mavis Hall ley line. Could this be alien, and they are using the ley lines as a map to get to their destination? Or, if trying to put myself in an alien mind, they need to, so maybe at the point of that ley line where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ley lines meet, is maybe sort of a wormhole or maybe an interdimensional sucky hole. I don't know. And they traverse, so maybe they maybe go a little bit off the lane lines, but they maybe traverse. They know where the lane lines are because they're magnetic. So if we follow this, it'll lead us to one of the major dimensional shifts, portals, wormholes, something. I don't know. So could this be alien? And they are relying on ley lines to traverse the British, Scottish Highlands. I just thought that was interesting, because let's face it, this genuinely could be alien, and or this could be us, and maybe saying this is maybe back engineered alien tech, and we couldn't disarm or dismantle their technology of relying on the ley lines. So maybe could that be a thing? But for them to travel from the RAF base, if that was a thing, if they were concentrating on ley lines to help them traverse, I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here. I may have to look into more the ley line theory. You generally don't hear. You do hear of a few aliens and UFOs in ley lines, but ley lines generally come under the paranormal side of things. But that's a definitely interesting thought that I had, and I thought I would bring into it. Had not done no research, but I just thought that was quite an interesting. So Calvin is around this sort of area. It never shows up but it's around this sort of area. No, it is. It did show up. Bloody hell! So it's very, very close to the British latitudinal ley line, and not far away from the Mavis Hole ley line. So could it just maybe gone off track, or maybe it was still on track? It's magnetic pull, so it knew it was going in the right direction. It's just another interesting thought that I had. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think that's a load of bullshit? Let me know. I'll be happy to discuss that with you. I just thought, because we're gone. Could this be us and the closest RAF base? It could be us. But I just thought, if this is indeed alien and they need ley lines to traverse our terrain, our land, it's not far from a couple of major ley lines. And the jet fighter, maybe it got warned, maybe radar picked up and it got a couple of them out there, or one of them out there, but it wasn't in the photos. It doesn't look like it's in the story. It doesn't look like it was too. It didn't sound like it was too bothered about it. It sounded like it was maybe ushering it. It was maybe traveling alongside it, or just following it, just to make sure it wasn't going to do anything silly or stupid. I'm going to look into the ley lines one for this a little bit more, and I'm going to see if there's any UFO reports near major ley lines, and see if this is a potential destination, potential travel to point A to point B. Maybe at the center of where all these 7 ley lines meet. Could that be a wormhole, a dimensional shift, something? I don't know. So they all not 7, but 5 of them meet, and the British latitudinal is sort of just off, making it look like 7, but 5 of them meet. So maybe in this lock, maybe there's some portal, because we do know there is such things as the USO, under unidentified submerged object. Could there be a portal under this sort of Isle of May or Moy? Sorry, could there be a portal cave? A point where a huge magnetic point, and it switches to different dimensions, or a wormhole, something. I don't. Again, I'm rambling here. I'm at the point of rambling, so I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna bookmark this though, because done. I'm gonna bookmark because I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. So anyway, that's been episode 16 of Rare Eddie One Talks podcast. Let me know your thoughts on all what we discussed tonight. Do you think it's a optical illusion? Do you think the photo is of a lake and a bit of wood in the lake, or a bit of metal in the lake? Do you think it's us? Do you think it's us with alien technology, reversed engineered alien technology? Do you think it's just our technology? Do you think this could be possible alien and UFO with the ley lines? That ley line theory may be something, and I will look into that a little bit more than what I have done today. Sorry. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button. Leave me a review. That would help a huge amount. Please leave me a review. That would really, really help. If you're watching these on YouTube and Rumble, smash that like button, and please subscribe to my channel. That would be fucking awesome. You guys are legends. I've been your host, Rare Eddie One. This has been Rare Eddie One Talks podcast. Stay naughty, stay rude, but more importantly, stay fucking filthy. See you next week. Peace.